rival them. I really have to admit that. But I will say this. I was so close to the flame during Du Hast. My niece and I look at each other. We're like, did you just feel the hair on your eyebrows? Like, tinge. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, we almost got our eyebrows burned off.
They had, I don't know if they had the fire in the middle of the stadium.
Yes.
Yeah, they had it in the middle of the stadium. Man, they had so much crew. They had a porta potty down by the crew pit. It's crazy. I've never seen a porta potty at a crew pit before.
I just posted 2 videos from the concert on my channel. I have like 5 more that I need to edit. One of them is Du Hast, and you remember how crazy that was.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. Wayne don't like Rammstein, so we don't talk about that.
They're, I love them.
That's 2 of us in the room that don't.
That's fine. That's fine.
I don't get it.
I'm an eccentric taste, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So am I, but that's not.
Dance metal.
All right.
I'm just updating.
So are we live on the YouTube?
We are live right now. We are live.
All right.
And let's get it on.
I'm gonna share that shit.
All right, let me do the intro. I was just updating Twitter. All right. Where the hell the thing go? Here it is.
You do this every week, Wayne.
I'm sorry. I'm doing like 8 things at once here.
It's time for Let's Sell and Review with your host, Wayne Moon, Greg Narlow, and Lou Maddox.
Welcome to Rat Salad Review. Hello, everybody. We are here today, joined by Jason Moser. I said it correctly. And our old J-Mo, and our good buddy Lisa Mann.
Hey,
we haven't seen you in a while.
Sharon.
They are from the band Splintered Throne, and they have
Metal
a new
Queen
out.
Supreme, Lisa Mann.
They have a new album out, The Greater Good of Man. And I have the album right here. It's autographed by all the band members. It was really cool. And I am also joined by Lou Maps.
Oh, thanks. Love you too, buddy.
Yeah.
I only host a stinking podcast with you. I'm in a band with you. So that's the thanks I get. I get it. I don't mind.
You're fired, by the way.
The sad thing is I never learned to read. I just had to finish that. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, welcome to the show, Jason and Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. And Jason, you've obviously been in a band longer than Lisa has. So give us a brief history about the band, because the band's been around for quite a while, right?
They've been around for a minute. Yeah. The band started in 2006 with the original bass player, Brian Bailey, who's still with us. And Brian Garrison, who was our singer for the longest time, and a hodgepodge of different folks that came and went. And they kind of morphed into this and that and whatever. And about 2010, 2011, Chris, our current drummer, and I joined the band, and it became more of like a defined traditional heavy metal. I have a background and a love for Bay Area thrash. I'm from San Francisco, so that's like super important to me. And we just started playing with that lineup, and guitar player here, guitar player there, and then pandemic came, and Brian the singer wanted to go do some other stuff, and Lisa came on board, and the other guitar player, Fred, he wanted to go do other stuff, so he left. So I called my best friend Matt, who was complaining about it. How am I going to find another guy like that? And Matt goes, "Well, you want me to play?" I was like, "Yes, you're like my best friend, and you shred." So now it's kind of like the band I had in high school. We're all friends, and we all get along, and it's just a good time. And everybody's a phenomenal musician, so it kind of just works out, and that's kind of where we're at in this day and age. We just keep trucking along and just keep kicking the rock down the road.
Oh, very cool. So how did Lisa get into the band? I mean, Lisa, when I first met you, we talked about White Crone, I think you kind of just got into Splintered Throne, right?
That was been 2019 then.
Yeah,
like in the summer.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I was at this gig that I was a fan. I was a fan of Splintered Throne. And I went to see Flotsam and Jetsam. And actually this time I didn't know Splintered Throne was opening. So I was like, all right, this is great. I love this band, So
Mm.
I'm like in the front row with my buddy. Her name's Lisa as well. And Brian Garrison, the singer, who I totally admire, said he was leaving the band.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that sucks, man. That really sucks. And my friend's like, no, go talk to the band. I'm like, really? And so I did. I actually ended up talking to the bass player, Brian Bailey, in the bar. And I think he gave me your card, because I don't know if you were busy doing something else. It's all a blur. But anyway, we
the
set up
merch,
on-
as usual, the merch. I was
With the
dealing with
merch.
merch.
Yeah. So, we connected and I beat Thor shirt guy for the audition.
Four shirt guy?
Thor
Thor
shirt
shirt.
guy.
Oh, Thor shirt.
Yeah.
Thor shirt guy.
I was just
like John Michael Thor or like
Yeah.
Mighty Thor.
like John Michael Thor. And so I just remember going to
You had to
Jason's
specify.
house. They had auditions like on a certain day. And I
Yeah.
remember going to Jason's house and I was like, I learned all these songs. He's like, sent me all these songs to learn. I learned all these songs. I was like, I'm going to kick some ass, And this guy's driving off. And I just remember thinking, I'm going to kick your ass. Thor shirt guy.
What was funny is we're jamming and we're playing up there, and it's Brian's last show, and it's kind of bittersweet and everything. And basically, when Brian left, he used this phrase with me. He said, "I'm going to give you the keys to the Corvette. Don't have somebody crash my fucking car." So we're up there and we're playing. Again, it's pretty bittersweet. And I look down, and I recognize Lisa, and man, she knows the words to all our songs. Like I could see her singing along. I was like, this is cool. So afterwards, when she had actually left and I walked up to the table and Brian's like, guess whose card I have? Oh my God. So we were super excited. We were like, oh my gosh. So basically the reality of it is Lisa found us. We didn't find her. She found us. And it's been great. So
Just one of those things, man. Just kismet.
Yeah. But it took you a while to actually get an album out, a full album out, which came out, what about a little bit of a couple weeks ago? I can't remember. Like maybe a month ago, right?
It's like
About
almost
a month.
right? Yeah,
Almost.
it's almost a month.
I need to buy my copy.
Yeah, you do. It's taking
What
so
the
long.
Bandcamp.
hell, Lou Mavs? Go to splinteredthrone.bandcamp.com.
Good plug. And see these? I've been using these because I've been recording with this schmuck for the last 3 months. So I've been busy. I'm sorry.
He's been a little busy.
He's
But
out teasing you.
yeah, but I keep up on everything. But yeah, so how
Oh,
but actually before you released this album, you did release a song. I can't remember what it was, but I remember you guys put a video together of a
Yeah,
song.
it was for Immortal. It's a tune on the Red Line album that when Lisa joined the band, we wanted to go and just kind of put something out to say, hey, we, new singer, we're still moving forward, blah, blah, blah. And so we picked that. We actually picked another song too that didn't quite make it out. And I don't know why we picked Red Line. I know we had talked about doing a cover as well, but we couldn't really decide on one, and we kind of wanted to slam something out in a hurry. So we picked these two songs that we actually recorded, and so we put Immortal out, and then we actually remixed and remastered that one. Actually remastered it for the CD. It's the very last song on the CD.
Right, yeah. So have you been keeping contact with Brian, your old singer, at all?
Little bit. He's busy. He's doing a yacht rock band.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
geez.
they do stuff like if you put on the Yacht Rock channel on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
that's what
So,
they do. And it's
let me
actually
guess,
pretty entertaining because they're
are
pretty
they
good.
playing Boz Scaggs' Ludo and Christopher Cross's Ride Like the Wind?
That's exactly what they're doing. It's Doobie
not gonna lie, I
Brothers,
love that
Michael
shit.
McDonald.
Oh, too.
But
It just
I
makes you
say this:
feel-
if it wasn't for Christopher Cross's "Ride Like the Wind," we would have never had "Desert Plains" by Judas Priest.
That's
Okay, I'll
right.
take that to the bank.
I told my wife, I said, when they get a gig, we are going to go up there and hopefully it's in a casino and we're just going to have a blast and just have a good old time. It'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Now, has he heard the new album?
Does he like pina colada? No, just kidding. I'm sorry.
Get
had
caught in the rain.
Getting caught in the rain. Well, he's not into health food. I don't know. That's a good question. We haven't really had that lengthy of a conversation about it. I sent him stuff as we were kind of, hey, we're doing this, and I just kind of check this out. And he's liked everything. I mean, again, he's one of my best friends too. And so I want to let him know that we're not going to crash the Corvette.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you did. What happened? He's got another orb. He's got a ghost in there. What's going on?
I don't know. I think I told you.
Who, me? What?
I don't know. They looked like he had a ghost in there.
There's ghosts.
No, that's just my douche flute right here. Because
But no, you did not crash the Corvette at all. I think
Definitely
the new album is great. And it's got that old school heavy metal sound to it, that traditional sound.
it's Lemmy approved.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, all right.
No, he's up there. He's up there in his box. Sorry.
I see him. Very cool.
Where did you guys record the album at? In a studio? Sounds like it's a studio recording. So
we worked with a guy named Kevin Hahn, who's done Scorpions and Paul Gilbert, and he's worked with Lisa phenomenally for years. He has 2 studios that he works out of. One's called Primal, and the other is Opal, and that's the one at his house. So we recorded drums at Primal and vocals and a couple other things over at Opal. And then actually Matt and I did guitars here at our own respective homes. And then we just imported the tracks and kind of mixed and mastered stuff over there and just kind of put it all together, a little bit here, a little bit there, and just got it all done.
Very cool. And James is now joining us.
Yes, I am here.
Oh, the voice
of God himself.
The voice of God himself is here.
Cheeky Baby said, James Liquid's #1. America Tui.
I got to it. Absolutely. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my everything working.
While
here.
James is going on, we already got some people in the chat, Wayne.
Yes, we did. Yes.
Mr. Mr. Anti Mazda Beast, I think that's his name.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
He says, greetings, everyone. He does have a question for Lisa, which is actually a question that I was going to ask you once Wayne was done. We'll get to that later. Ralph Vieira, Dr. Fuck, is in the chat and said, what an amazing CD. All songs rule, all killer, no filler. Favorites so far are Morning Star Rising and Underdogs. I'd have to say those are 2 of my favorites. I want to throw the title track and The Crossing on those as well as the opening track as well.
And congratulations to Dr. Fuck, by the way, for getting on Brave Words.
Yes, very cool with Mr. Martin Popoff himself.
Yeah.
And Anti Mazda Beast also says that he heard of Lisa from White Crone. So we've all heard from White Crone. The best cover version of Stargazer ever.
Thank you.
So what was Anti Mazda Beast's question? What was it like transitioning from the blues into such epic metal?
Well, I haven't really transitioned from one thing to another because, I'm still doing blues. That's what I do for a living. I play blues and do blues gigs and I do showcases with other artists. I've got some stuff coming up with a kid named Steven Taylor, and I've done stuff with Ben Rice. I'm going to be working with Johnny Rawls, the Mississippi Soul Man, Johnny Rawls, who was O.V. Wright's right-hand man. I mean, I got all kinds of blues gigs going on, but I grew up doing metal. So I grew up in mosh pit. That's what I like to say, I grew up getting injured in mosh pits.
That and your school, Joey DeMaio of Manowar himself.
Yeah, I played Joey DeMaio's bass, on stage. So, that's just in my blood. And so to me, it's just like, it's kind of like picking up a different instrument in a way. It's like, I know I sing completely differently. People think I'm from England or something when I sing metal, and they know I'm from the South when I sing blues. So, I just love music, and who knows, maybe I'll put a torch song album and a country album. I don't care. I'll do it all. But do it all before I drop dead.
There you go.
What was that? Well, Lou, go ahead and ask your question or something just fell.
It's a ghost, man. It's Moser's ghost.
What the hell? He came over here.
Yeah.
Making its waves.
Jason, me being a guitar player as well, I'd like to ask you, what gear do you use to record?
I mostly used I have a Heathen Kettner Switchblade from like 2007 that I bought brand new, and something happened to it. It broke down. So the only person in the U.S. at that time who could fix it was Alex Licensed Tech. So they actually sent it to him. And at the time, we had a guy in the band that had the exact same head. And so his head at like 5 was mine on 2. So they did something to it that Hot Rods, everywhere I go, people are, dude, your sound is great. And so what I did in the studio is Kevin had a Mesa head, like one of those heads that weighs a ton. And I just,
they all do,
everything.
but yeah.
Yeah, I recorded everything with that here at the house. I did a little bit of mic cabinet, and I used my Fractal. I have a Fractal AX8. And so I found a tone that was, it was okay. And then we just kind of squeezed it out in the studio, got a little bit of better tone, and that's how we got the stuff on the CD. But all the rhythms are a tube amp and a cabinet in a room, just full on.
Mic'd up. Very cool. And what brand guitars do you use?
I use like the mid-end, like the middle end Jacksons, not the high end, because I'll beat the crap out of them, and the low ends are, crummy, but kind of those mid-range ones. So
No, I hear you. I have mid-range Jackson myself. I have a made in Indonesia Adrian Smith model, but I love it. It plays great. It's lightweight, and it's you can use it to play anything. So
that's my next purchase. I'm gonna buy that white one with the black pick guard, because I have this other project I'm doing that I can't really mention yet, but that guitar would be very handy for it.
Is that the one with the maple neck or the ebony neck? Because mine has the maple neck.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the maple. I love maple necks. Maple necks are way to go.
I agree.
I love them.
What kind of neck do you have, James?
No neck at the moment.
Neck beard. James, good to see you again, buddy. How's everything going?
Everything's going well. Thank you, everybody, for the thank you, Lou, for the touching tribute of me last week. But I was so long story short, and I got no problem relaying this. We had to put our oldest dog down last Sunday, not this Sunday, but the last one. So it was a rough week last week, losing a fur baby like that, and we had her for 14 years. So I was not in the mood to be talking Iron Maiden. If you know my wonderful views on Iron Maiden and how I've been kind of critiquing them, I was not in the mood to be listening to 2 albums of that. So
put it to you this way: once we got to mid-90s Maiden, James said, "No slow songs, Maiden." So
no slow songs, no slow songs. Still no. Putting the title track in your chorus at all times and repeating it ad nauseum. So, but actually, I had a question for Lisa and Jason. When you were guys coming up with the sound, actually, I really enjoyed it, which is kind of funny. Me trashing Iron Maiden the entire time. You guys did all the good points I like to say about Iron Maiden, and none of the bad. So you left all like what James Cornette once said, kept all the good shit, left all the bad shit on the floor, which is great. What were you guys listening to like get that sound and everything going when you guys started? What were you guys listening to, or like any like different music and different bands that you were listening to prior to like writing that gave you like the inspiration to make all the songs?
I'll start, because basically I started with the music, and then I can't speak for how Lisa came up with her end of things, but I am kind of stuck between the year 1978 and 1980. 5-ish is like the golden era of music for me. Like, Thin Lizzy, Judas Priest, Stained Class, first Iron Maiden record, Accept, Metallica, like everything from that era, and even some non-metal stuff, Foreigner, Styx, during like all that stuff to me is the shit. That's like the golden age of music. So that's always a standard rotation in my playlist, never goes anywhere. I like some newer stuff, but usually this newer stuff I like definitely pulls from that. So Trivium, Avenged Sevenfold, Hammerfall, things like that. And then I like this band and this new style of music. My kid turned me on to. They're a band called Ballyhoo. They're out of Maryland. They play like reggae, ska, punk. Their music just super happy, uplifting. It just makes me want to drink beer and sit on the beach all day. And there's a whole shitload of bands from the Maryland area, Bumpin' Uglies, Tropodelic. There's just all kinds of bands that play that. I love that stuff. And that's how Greater Good of Man came along, because I wanted to write a song like that kind of music. And so I wrote Greater Good of Man as kind of not a joke, but as, hey, I wrote this and I'm going to put this on my own record someday. Like someday I'm going to do a solo record. And I brought it to the band and they all said, that is a great song. So it's not for you, it's for me. So
No,
eventually
Lisa,
Lisa
it's going on
hijacked
record.
it, came up with
Not
some
anymore.
lyrics and I'm like, okay, I guess it's a band now.
Yeah, that song was going on the record, man. There was no two ways about it. Yeah, for me,
I love that breakdown in the song. Definitely, it rocks.
And that's it. That's the stuff, the ska. And they're like, I'm going to try this because I'm not really a ska guitar player, but hey, whatever. I'll do it on a V with EMG pickups. I can do ska on any guitar, right?
I'm a huge ska fan, so that's why like I'm a huge Real Big Fish and Bad
Yeah, Real
Brains
Big Fish. Like,
and Long Beach Dub All Stars and all those guys. I enjoy all that stuff. So that
okay.
was.
Then you have to go check out Ballyhoo because they do it to me. They do it. It's like perfect.
So you recommending that James picks it up. Hey. Sorry, couldn't help it.
I'll do some skanking later, okay, for you.
And
And I gave it to Lisa.
I'm
I had all the songs. I gave it to her, and boom, off she went.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because he and I were born, Jason and I were born like, what, 5 days apart or something in the same year.
Oh.
So we're kind of like astrological twins in a way. My mom was an astrologer. So I'm that's like the golden age for me too. And I like to call myself the unfrozen cave woman of metal because all my references, well, not all of them. I mean, I was into Rammstein and Seattle sound in the 90s and stuff like that. But a lot of my references is like from the 80s and from the stuff that I, grew up listening to and moshing to and playing along and singing to, playing my bass. And so for me, it's like, yeah, that 80s stuff and Iron Maiden. I love the storytelling aspect of their history metal songs. And so I like a narrative song. So for me, it usually doesn't have anything to do, my songwriting doesn't have anything to do with something I've been listening to recently. It's influenced by everything I've listened to since I started listening to music. So, and the things that were the biggest things that in my formative years that influenced me more than anything. So, like I grew up, like my blues music it has a lot of like Americana and country influence because I grew up in West Virginia and it was just everywhere. It was just ubiquitous. And so that flavor is just going to come through. And then some of my blues rock stuff has metal influences. I got one song, there's like Iron Maiden licks in it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, they don't even know. They're playing it on blues radio. It's like wink, wink. They don't even know what they're playing. But yeah, it's just stuff that's in my bones, really. And for the most part, I just love narrative songs. One of my favorite songs growing up, though, non-metal song, "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald."
Love that song.
Freaking love that song, man. It's
that is from Canadian folk artist Gordon Lightfoot. That is my brother's favorite artist, and
the great Gordon Lightfoot.
The great Gordon Lightfoot. That stuff I grew up on, and me being from New York, you'd think it would be Ramones and Kiss only. I grew up on Gordon Lightfoot. I grew up on Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings.
Storytelling stuff, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll plug my stuff at the end of the show. We're here to talk about you guys.
Please
but
do.
one thing I want to say though, Lisa, I love the fact that you covered a song from the classic Kiss era from the Peter Criss solo album. I saw your video of that.
You got that, man.
I loved it.
That. You know how that came about? That's on.
Before you say that, I just want to say Peter Criss is the most underrated of the solo albums. I really have to say
I like that solo album. There's a lot of good boogie woogie piano on there. That's why.
Wait, I didn't ask you your opinion. That's my opinion.
Garbage.
Dude, zip it. That song kicks ass.
You like Motorama, Wayne? Your opinion is invalid.
That valid right there.
Shut
Validity.
Up. It's a good movie. It's better than the new Monsters movie, by the way.
That movie's great too.
And Lisa likes it. I don't know how.
I like that movie. It's corny and I love it.
I'll take her opinion over yours, Wayne, any day.
It made me want to throw like toilet paper and popcorn and squirt gun.
Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Jason is shaking his head over there. Did you watch the Monsters movie?
I haven't. I've heard it's horrible. And Rob Zombie has had a couple of decent movies, and ever since then, ever since the first Devil's Rejects, they've just been when you
I
get
agree.
the same
Worse,
when
worse.
you get the same person to be your main actress the whole time.
It's like, come on now. Enough.
I agree. Devil's Rejects was good, but ends right there.
But what do you like about that movie, Lisa?
What did
We're
I
so- we're
like
getting-
about the
yeah, we're getting
Munsters?
sidetracked here,
Did
but
you
yeah,
watch
we're
the
You know what
Did
I
you
like
watch the
about that
Munsters as a
movie?
kid?
Everything that I liked about the Munsters, the TV show,
yeah.
and it's in color.
Mhm.
That's what I like about it.
But it's not funny. The Monsters
But
TV
it's
show was
so-
funny. It
it-
was hilarious.
Stupid. It's really. I laughed my ass off because it was so stupid.
Wayne, you thought the
love it.
Munsters TV show was funny?
It was hilarious. Yes.
Are you saying the Munsters TV show wasn't funny, James?
I'm not saying it was funny. It was more in that corny cornball type of way.
right? But it was
Yeah,
funny.
but think about what it was against. Green Acres, the Beverly Hillbillies. I mean,
Love all
I-
of them.
Leave it
I'll
to
take the
Beaver.
Munsters over them any day.
right. People was good
Celebration
too.
of
Oh,
Halloween.
see, I love the Beverly Hillbillies. I love the old Beverly Hillbillies, but we also still watch them here in Knoxville. So
Mm.
It's
I mean,
the
I-
law.
I was spoiled because that was
You
my
had to watch
upbringing. It was
Hog growing up too, didn't you?
Yeah.
damn right I did. We've already
Never
talked about
knock-
Roy Clark once.
never
here.
knock the great Roy Clark.
We will
Blue
That
never.
man can play a rag better than anybody.
I will be
Yeah.
picking and grinning until the day I die. Okay,
That's right, because it ain't chicken picking, it's just picking.
and a grinning.
Right, forgot the grinning. But I mean, growing up on Munsters, the original Batman, Fruity Pebbles, and Fruity Yummy Mummy, I love the Munsters, so I have no shame in that.
I thought that actor was perfect, man. He probably just walked in the room and just went, they're like, "You're hired.
You're hired.
You're hired."
That's the
Can
thing.
you deal with my wife as long as I have. Then you're hired.
That's the thing. It all looked good. The colors of everything and how Harmon looked. It looked, exactly like Fred Gwynn, and everything looked cool. Just the script wasn't there. It was not funny.
Somebody just said Lassie in the chat room.
Lassie, yes. Yeah.
Lassie.
Lassie was a good show.
Lassie.
But getting back to Splintered
Yeah.
Throne,
Yes.
I'm looking in the booklet, and the song "Underdogs" was inspired by those struggling with addiction to those who made it into recovery. Tell us some about that song. Did you know somebody that was going through that, or had that song played out?
I have been working with people in recovery for the last 5 years, almost 5 years. And so I've watched a lot of people make it, a lot of people not make it, people that made it, and then within a couple months not. And so it's just hard to watch people do that. And I had a couple of people that I actually was pretty close to in the little program thing I work with. And like just broke my heart for some of these guys. And like I literally came home. It's kind of like Immortal. When Immortal came out was the night that Lemmy died. And I
Oh, wow.
sat in this room over here with a half a bottle of Jack Daniels, and that song literally came out of me in like 20 minutes, like everything. I was like, holy cow. And it was the same thing. I kind of had this riff, that riff, and one day one of those guys didn't quite make it, and I came home and I was just kind of poured out and it put it together. And it was one that's more of a, I don't want to say a me song, but it's inspired by people that have affected my life. And so if people like it, we've had a couple of reviews where like, it's the weakest song on the album. I'm like, I don't really give a shit what you think, because I didn't write that for you. I wrote that for me. And if you like it, cool. And if you don't, whatever.
Right, they don't have to listen to it.
Skip that track.
Or
That's why it's in the middle.
anti-ballad.
So
I
you go, oh, like, that one's filler. I'll go to the next one. Ooh, that's good stuff. And that's kind of how I hope it.
I disagree wholeheartedly. There's not one bad song on the entire
Right.
record.
I was gonna
There's
say
not one
that
bad
really
song.
isn't.
I mean, no one's talked about Night of the Heathens. I actually like that one the most. So
That's
I
my
mean,
favorite too.
and also that still felt
One of
kind
my
of ghosty too. So like I was like, there's Lisa.
Andrew Peters says Splintered Throne. Was is das? This is
Is this
Awesome
Mein
Das.
Teil?
It's
Oh,
called
okay.
it's just Mein Teil.
all right. But yeah, this is Splintered Throne here, and Jason and Lisa are from the band Splintered Throne, and Andrew, go on I guess Spotify or iTunes.
Splinterthrone.bandcamp.com.
Or
Buy
bandcamp.com.
directly from the
Yeah.
Buy the
band.
CD.
To buy it, Spotify to listen to it or whatever, and then just keep listening to it. And we need those numbers to go up. So share it with your friend and your grandma and your
Das
Maybe that you
Amazon as Musica, yeah.
Yeah, and Andrew,
That's
you can
good.
hear.
Germans love this shit. I'm telling you, we send more CDs to Germany
Really?
than anywhere else. The Germans are loving, but they love power metal. They love American
That's
traditional
funny.
metal. We have shirts.
Because Wayne's Project Resurrect CD made it to Germany, but
That's
on illegal streaming platforms.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes, Ven, I didn't forget about you,
That's
you douche nozzle.
But that was a cool shirt. I gotta get one of those shirts. Show that again.
Yeah, das ist
soft.
gut.
Oh, it's nice and soft.
It's nice and soft. It's comfortable. It has the album on it, and there's a couple other cool shirts too. So
Right.
one of them. No, I don't think you have a whole bunch of them, Jason.
The Lady
The
Throne.
Lady Throne.
That one's really cool. What I need to find that artist and have him change the art around just a little, because there's 5 guys at the throne or 5 guys at the throne with the lady sitting on it. I need to take one of those guys out, and there's 4 of us, and you're sitting on the.
How
You're
very
sitting
Game
on
of
the
Thrones
throne.
of you.
Like right there.
How very Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But yes,
Splinters
Andrew,
in my hands.
this is who Splintered Throne is, and yeah, you've been watching the show, us doing Iron Maiden stuff. So if you love Iron Maiden, you're definitely gonna love Splintered Throne. So
Yeah, and we needed a break from the Maiden Priest thing. It was getting too
it's-
much.
That's
once
just
in a while.
blasphemy to me. I'm sorry. Just
What's
the whole
that?
concept.
I know, Lisa, you're probably not happy with my review, so I'm staying out of that one.
But you're putting Priest over though, James, so that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I'm
Somebody has to.
Yeah, no, and like I said, it's just
Otherwise, there's
it's
no
a-
dialogue.
Exactly.
exactly, Jason, if you had to pick between Iron Maiden or Judas Priest, who do you like more?
Maiden.
Man. What about you, Lisa?
I think hers Maiden,
That's
right?
hard.
Yeah, hers
I mean,
always
that's
made.
hard.
Yeah.
But come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ian
it's
Hill.
safe to say-
Dun, 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 dun.
It's
That's
safe to say Steve Harris has influenced more bass players than Ian Hill. All due respect to Ian Hill, but
Yeah.
you know.
Fact.
There, you
Hey,
can't
look
really
there.
see it. There's my Eddie. Oh, right there from
Oh, yeah,
Killers.
yeah,
My
I see.
Eddie.
Yeah. See.
That's cool.
I see her Eddie and I match it. I don't have a tattoo, but I got the
Ah.
pop.
All right, cool. What's your some of your guys? What's that? Oh, Killers.
Third greatest album ever. Right under Van Halen's Fair Warning and Ozzy's Diary of a Madman for me. Killers is right up there.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to go with Stained Class as one of my favorites. Killers, and then it's a kind of a toss-up. Diary's in there, but except Restless and Wild, because
Yeah.
that's how I learned how to play guitar. Was that record? I learned every freaking song on that album, like backwards and forwards. And
We're both big fans of that album.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with like an accept.
Maybe I know.
Lisa, what's one of the standout tracks on the album for you?
Oh God, all of them. I love them all.
I know they're all good, but what is the
Which
one that you like?
baby
You know?
do you like the best?
Well, everybody's got their favorite
I
child.
don't know, man. I mean, I'm actually, I love the cross. I just love the crossing. The crossing is epic. I love long songs. I love epic Maiden songs that are like 7 minutes long. And this one's a mere 6 minutes long, but it's just got it all. It's got, it's actually, it was, now I'm remembering that you called the instrumental track Heathen or Heathens or something when you sent it to me.
It's called the Heathen riff because
The
I
Heathen
love a band called Heathen, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
like a Heathen kind of riff, and that's kind of where it came
That's
from.
where it came from.
Mhm.
So that was Heathen. And then the crossing, when you sent that to me, you sent the riff, you said this was a song you wanted to be about like a shipwreck or something at sea.
Yeah,
And so
'cause
you
I kind of
play-
had the
you
little
planted-
bit. Yep.
Yeah.
I had
you
that
planted-
little bit of the middle. Yep, that little bit, the chorus, the idea, and that little bit in the middle about, hey, your ship's sinking, you better do something about it.
You might want to do something about that now. And so that got me in like, hey, well, there's got to be a story. The Night of the Heathens is about, so those are the two songs I fucking love. But the Night of the Heathens is about the Battle of Ashdown. And I actually learned about that before I saw that Lost Kingdom show. So I didn't steal it from the Lost Kingdom show because I was going to watch it. It was like, they're going to do the Battle of Ashdown. And it was like 5 minutes out of an episode. I was like, that's it? That was the Battle of Ashdown?
Mm.
So the true story is in there. But the crossing is based on the story of this African king. and he was like the richest man in the world. And even by today's standards, he would have been like, you know, the
King
rich
Muhammad.
man
It's like King Muhammad, something of Mali, right?
of Mali, the king of Mali.
Yeah.
You're right. Abu Bakr was, I think it was his predecessor. He, you know, just wanted more riches. And so he got on a ship, a bunch of ships with some men, and they went out to the sea and were in search of riches and never heard from again. That was
Mansa
it.
Musa.
Mansa Musa. That's it, man. You're right. That's it. That's the story of
Getting a history lesson here. This is awesome.
So
Oh God! Oh God!
such a great
Shocker!
story.
That's
Like,
not
what
good.
The
happened?
Sabadon fan knows history.
Hey, I'm a history buff, so this is cool.
Right on. So, you know, you can rock out and learn some shit at the same time.
That's what metal's about, you know. We're the history teachers, you know.
I passed Happy history thanks to Iron Maiden. So there you go.
I wasn't good at history, even though I listened to all
Yeah.
the Maiden stuff. It's terrible. I
Eh,
don't know why.
Alexander the Great. I mean, it could have been a little more poetic songwriting.
my people, the Greeks.
Alexander, there you go. That's it.
Hence why I love Sabadon. They did the White Death. My Finnish brethren.
Ah,
Wait, are you part Finnish too, James?
No. My grandfather fought in the Finnish army in World War II.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he was the Swedish. You know, because the western part of Finland's more predominantly Swedish.
Got it.
That's where he lived.
Speaking of
maybe
Finland,
maybe someday Sabaton will write a song about the Hatfields and McCoys, and then my people will be represented.
speaking of Finland, hi Timo Toki. Hope you're doing okay.
Well,
Poor guy
I mean,
gets stuck in every airport in Mexico right now.
I
Am
was
I
gonna
wrong?
joke, at least the Hatfields and McCoys have got a nice, wonderful dinner theater in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And what about you, Jason? Is there another song than Underdogs that is like one of your favorites on the album?
You know, Underdog's actually not my favorite song because it's just kind of a, I don't know. I love the song. Like Lisa said, they're all like, which kid is my favorite? You know, they all have something kind of special. I think for me, Night of the Heathens, because when I came up with that riff, it was the sickest riff I had come up with. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then when Matt put a harmony to it, I went, like it could be better. And then just kind of the way how that song morphed into, if you strip it down and you look at all the different ways the certain riffs are picked and how they're all similar, but if you strip it down, they're actually not. They're all just a little bit different, which is kind of like, as a songwriter, as a guitar player, you know, like for example, Dave Mustaine, he has these like signature riffs that he does. And I like to feel like I kind of have the same thing. I don't really necessarily reinvent the wheel, but I like what I do. And it just kind of, at least for me, makes me feel like I actually know how to play guitar. Because I actually started out as a bass player, much like Lisa. I played bass for probably 20 years before I actually decided I'm going to actually play guitar a little more seriously because I wanted to. I wasn't trying to be a professional musician anymore. It was more for fun. And so then I started playing guitar. And so for me, I approach guitar playing as more of a rhythm instrument. And the guys that I respect for that, like Hetfield and Scott Ian, is like one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Super underrated. Dave Mustaine, guys like that, you know, the song comes first and then whatever else has to make it work. So for me, Night of the Heathens is number one. And number two is a close second is the title track, just because with Lisa coming in the band, I want to write a blues riff. And if you strip that down, it's a 1-4-5. It's a blues riff with except sprinkled all over it, right? So that's kind of
It's a blues riff with Philly bits.
Actually, Lisa, there's a question I want to ask you. Normally, when I hear you sing, it's in standard, but I know that the album was recorded in E flat standard.
Yes.
Was it a different transition for you going from a natural to a flat,
Oh,
or
no,
was it
I
still
was
like,
like, dude, please, y'all need to bring this down because I'm an alto, you know, and here I go, I'm writing this stuff that's really challenging. So metal is challenging. See, blues, I mean, I could sing blues in a challenging way, and there are some songs that are challenging, but for the most part, it's very conversational. So it's not too far outside of my speaking voice. but singing metal is like singing opera, you know, and I can't, you know, I'm a woman of a certain age and I can't hit some notes that I used to be able to. I used to sing along with freaking Ema Sumac records and shit. So I can't hit those super high notes anymore. And so I told the guys, hey, you know, it would be more comfortable for me for what I wrote for these songs if we brought them down a half step. And they were like, yeah, sure, man, that's fine. We'll all get consistent tuning. I think JMO was it you or Matt that you already had guitars that were 2.5 steps? So it was just like, yeah, just you got to get them set up that way. But for me, it's helpful for me not to strain myself. I like it.
I hear you. But I mean,
Yep.
I you know me, I love your voice. I mean, to me, you're right up there with like a lot of the modern blues female singers, you know, like women like Samantha Fish and Joanne Cooper. You know, I think your voice is as good as theirs, if to me, if not better, personally. But
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
James.
Honestly,
I caught him off guard.
Yeah, you did catch me off guard. Sorry, I forgot to finish cooking to run right in here, so that's why if you see me nibbling, I made some chicken.
Turn
And
the stove off, man.
No, it was the barbecue, so it was already done. But how'd you guys come up with like the list of the track listing there? Because like I mean, I really enjoy how the album just starts right off with the Reaper's calling. And like it sets the tone. I think it was a really good tone setting album. So how'd you guys come up with the set list to do all the different songs there?
yeah, the sequencing is perfect. He's right.
That's like kind of my, I don't know, specialty or whatever. I just try and think of like, how would I like to hear the whole record? And I think of back to like, you guys are talking about Iron Maiden, and I was thinking about the first time I heard Number of the Beast and how all the tracks are just like the way they're laid out is perfect. Killers is another one. And so I always think back to when I was a kid, you bought a record or you got a cassette and you just put it in and you hit play and you just listen to the whole thing. It wasn't like, I'm just gonna kind of skip tracks or I'm gonna put it on shuffle. It started at song 1 and it went all the way to song 8 or 9. Diary of a Madman's another, like you just put that thing on, boom, it goes. Next thing you know, you're Diary of a Madman. You're like, how the hell did I get here? And so to me, you got to have an album that flows. Otherwise you lose people's interest. And especially in this day and age, you only have 15 seconds. You have to try and keep people engaged. And when you have something that's 40 minutes long, how are you going to keep them for 40 minutes? That's really tough. So I always think about like, how does it flow? What is the transition? Is the mood there? Are you kind of, peaks and valleys, and how does it flow? And the same with the live set. I try and think of like, you can't just have a bunch of stuff that hammers people on the head. They go, okay, I'm going to go, have a beer because this is like the 5th song with a pit. Like I need a break. I need a breather.
Right.
So I always kind of think of it that way. Like, what's the flow? What's the emotion? What are you getting out of it? I love bands like Overkill and Exodus. Exodus is one of my favorite bands, but I know when I put that record on, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff for the whole time of the record. And especially at this day and age, there's going to be like, of the 8 tracks on it, 5 are going to be really good. And the other 3 are like, they're okay. And so I want to try and have, even if we have something that somebody thinks, it's okay. It's in a place where you don't just go, well, screw it, I'm done listening to this thing.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely one of the most important things about putting out an album. Is got to have it flow, and this album does flow. You guys just recently did a show with Emissary. How did that go? Emissary, sorry.
Emissary. That was
Well,
fun.
how'd you say that again, Wayne?
Shut up, James.
Emissary. He's been hanging out in England again.
Yeah. He would spend a little too much time in Welsh. It came
You know what I meant.
all together.
Jim Harris is good people, man. Emissary, they're good people. So that was a fun show.
Were you guys like last minute on that show or something?
I think we were. Last minute.
Yeah, we for our CD show, we had we had the headliner cancel that I wouldn't say last minute, but like it put us in a spot. And so same thing happened to them. Their local headliner canceled. And we don't like normally doing too many shows in Portland so close to each other because anyway, I'm not going to get into Portland's draw, but that's not a really good idea. So I've just been through that. So I told Jim, and we've been wanting to play with him. I'm like, dude, we'll jump on that bill for you, man. No problem. So
Yeah.
A good fit.
yeah, it was,
Yeah, they're definitely a really cool band. Jim's a cool guy. Yeah, he's pretty funny. What shows do you have lined up? Anything coming up soon or
Yeah, and he plans on touring.
any what?
touring?
Oh, touring.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking to some festival folks right now for next year. I think that's kind of our goal. I was trying to do a short run through the Northwest with a really awesome instrumental band out of California called Points North. That is amazing. You should go check out.
I think I've heard that.
I got the local gig here in Portland booked. And I could not get, Eugene was kind of there and flaky, and then we tried to do another market over here in Eastern Oregon, and I just couldn't make it happen. So that fell through, and then I've got a couple other things locally we're just going to try and do between here and the end of the year. But the big push is to try and do some festivals next year, and then I have a West Coast run I'm trying to have us do with some other female fronted bands from the West Coast, and I'll just let you kind of rumor that as you might.
Yeah, that would be so killer. And also we released this album kind of late in the in the late summer, and we've geared up our PR campaign basically to press this album. Our goal right now is get this album in as many ears as possible. But when it comes to festival bookings, you have to look at next year and the year after, because all summer festivals were already booked by the time we, started hitting the scene with PR. So we're looking at festivals next year. We do have something called Halloween-a-Palooza. It's at the White Side Theater. Is a really cool theater, man. That's a great stage, big old stage in Corvallis, Oregon. And who's there? Toxic Zombie, Attention Whore, Red-Eyed Demon. I love that, Attention Whore. And so it's going to be a Halloween party. So see what everybody's going to wear. It's going to be. We'll see.
Are you guys going to dress up? Do you have to dress up as anything?
We have some ideas, but it has to be agreed on by the band. The other thing with that, Bill, is we're playing with a band called Crash Carmen. They just came off a tour with John 5. They're freaking good. I'm super excited to play with them. And Toxic Zombie's been around forever. They're super fun. They're the perfect Halloween band. Like you couldn't find a better one up here. They're good.
Yeah.
But
we got some in Seattle or in Everett, just north of Seattle too, on Friday, November 18th.
Yep.
It'd be at Tony V's in Everett.
Yeah, we haven't been to Seattle in we did the Fun House a while back, but this is our first time up north, and we've got a lot of good friends and fans up there, so we're hoping that people will come on out and support and buy new merch and all that good stuff.
Oh, very cool.
Christmas time, we have lots of Christmas stuff for Christmas. Hey, come on, buy some stuff.
Merchandising.
We got to get you guys out to the East End here.
Stocking stuffers, man.
Yeah.
Patch.
That's right.
Very cool. I have one of those somewhere. I know. I just saw it.
Be cool to have
a to your forehead.
Be cool to have a Splintered Throne Severed Angel show in New York. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Who's Severed Angel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Except for you guys only doing that in the Northeast won't be brave enough to come down here.
Well,
where are you at,
hopefully
Jay?
we can book a show at Bob's Country Bunker. We'll play behind the chicken wire, and
there you go.
We'll be good to go.
Hey, you know what? It ain't a good time. It ain't a good old fashioned hootenanny if there ain't no dang beer being thrown at the chicken wire. All right.
This is true. Okay.
Just play Rawhide over and over.
Exactly.
All right. Where could people go to see Splintered Throne with the websites and everything?
SplinteredThrone.com. Check it out. There's links to everything else there. Also, SplinteredThrone.bandcamp.com. That's our shop. We will sign CDs and send them to you. Maybe throw some free goodies in there. We got t-shirts. The guys get shirts. Get some shirts. And we're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We are on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. You can follow White Crone on Twitter. And I'm always sharing Splintered Throne news. Also, Splintered Throne is missing an E, but you can find us. Just Google us and you'll find us.
Not too
We're
hard to find.
everywhere.
What's going on with White Chrome, by the way? Anything?
Well, I have 5 songs that are in kind of skeletal form. And I'm actually going to do it like a little mini songwriter retreat. It's hard to do. It's hard to make it. I made this album in my spare time, that first album, and that's really hard to do. So I'm actually doing a little songwriter retreat where I'm going away to a little cabin for a couple of days, and I'm going to bring those songs with me and try to brainstorm on them. Not promising anything, but eventually I will put out another. It's not a band. I just always give people the disclaimer. White Crone is not a band. It is a recording project, but I will definitely be working on that soon and try to.
We got a lot of
them out.
activity going on in the chat right now.
Goody.
Let's see. What's your favorite key, or what key dominated the album? E flat. We've already discussed that. Dr. Fuck says Night of the Heathen Skulls, neck breaking track.
By the way, Lisa, when you go out to do that cabin retreat, to do that, make sure you don't have any snowstorms happen right in the middle of it.
No, I'm talking Oregon, man. This is Oregon coast.
I was making a shining joke there.
It's gonna rain. Oh, a shining joke. Oh,
Yeah,
That would be on Mount Hood because that's where they filmed it.
I filmed it in Oregon.
All right.
There's no
all right.
cabin.
I was trying to make the ties.
He's trying.
Fell flat.
We just
Wayne,
cut 'em right
Andrew-
at the knees.
All work
Andrew-
and don't play.
And I'm a
Andrew
goal boy.
Peters says in the chat, the Octagon debut album. Any reference to Chuck Norris?
I have no idea what that means.
The
No,
Octagon.
that's actually the third album. The Octagon was actually the third album that we put out.
Oh, okay. I got it. now.
Okay. Well, any reference to Chuck Norris?
No, I don't remember what we were. I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was more UFC than anything.
I had a feeling it was
like
more
Oregon
MMA
has
than
like a really
anything.
famous fight team out of there with like a whole bunch of really famous fighters.
It's not like Randy Piper lived across town over here.
Yeah, and also that guy too. Yeah, then you didn't have Team Quest and freaking and Roddy Piper exactly.
Murphy Full Fate is back in the chat. He says Splintered Throne, cool name. Yes, we know. That's why we have them on. Except for the fact they're also cool people and a cool band. And he also says, I'll be checking it out. Okay, remember, splinterthrone.bandcamp.com. Buy the CD, buy their merch.
That's right. And
Or,
Jim Harris.
download it, stream it, whatever.
And Jim Harris from Emissary is in the chat too. He just joined.
Oh, right on, Jimbo.
Hey!
Jimbo.
Awesome.
Hopefully you're doing okay, Jim, with your missing tooth.
We feel okay sharing about it because you shared about it on Facebook. So.
Yeah, it's only fair. Jason, did you have another band too besides Splintered Throne, or is it something else you're working on? You can't talk about.
I do I played a cover band with a bunch of other guys. We just played 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, just stuff you'd hear on the radio, and it's not metal at all, and it's just kind of fun. And then I have a tribute band that I'm going to be playing with soon, but I'm not going to say anything yet other than.
All right. Keep an eye out for that as well. And I did see that orb in your room there, so something's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Yeah,
All right.
Scary boys and girls.
That's right. It's going to be Halloween.
I guess we're making fight. You don't believe me, but that's okay.
No, I believe you. I totally believe you.
Yeah, we totally believe it. It's just, we're doing
I can't wait to tell my wife
Halloween
this
time.
story because she's gonna freak out. It's awesome. She just freaks out when I talk about the ghost.
Yeah, I would too. I would not live there.
He's pretty tame.
As long as you don't die, I guess you'd be all right.
Oh, what
Oh,
hope
you
you
care
bring
about your dad,
the
then.
world, Wayne. Jeez.
I just saw the best bumper sticker, and I was having kind of a crappy day too. It said, "But did you die?"
I see that. Yeah.
But did you die?
But did you die? I was like, that really cheered me up. Thank you. I needed that.
All right.
I have a funny story about bumper stickers. So I was at Eternal Con, which is like the Long Island Comic Con out here. I was working for Trauma, the guys who did Toxic Avenger and Closet Nukem High.
Yeah.
So as a thank you, they gave me like a bunch of free swag. One of them was a I Love Tromaville High School bumper sticker that I had in my car. I'm walking my dog, and one of my neighbors who lives around the block from me, they're like, hey, I wanted to ask you, Tromaville High School, is that upstate? I'm like, no, it's a fictional high school in New Jersey from like a B movie company out of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah,
I
it's right next to Miskatonic University.
I was just like, I can't believe I actually had to explain that to somebody, but you know,
I wouldn't have known either. It's all right.
You should have told him it's an auxiliary campus for What's the Matter You.
must capture moose and squirrel. Yes.
Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. Had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was awesome.
Yep. And the new album right here, The Greater Good of Man, is out. So go to bandcamp.com and get that. Is there any possibility of all the older albums ever coming back on CD or anything?
I don't know. That's a discussion to have at some point. I've kind of thought about, man, it'd be kind of cool to re-record a couple tunes.
I was just going to ask, maybe re-record. Yeah.
Maybe do them
remix
live,
them.
like, you know, but I don't know yet. We really want to squeeze what we can out of this one and just kind of push this. It's kind of like, you know, we put a new motor in the Corvette. We wants to drive the old one. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
though? I tell people though, get that Redline CD because that Redline CD was in my van. I
Right.
know, yeah, fucking all. Pardon my French. I listen to CDs. Yes, I do.
I don't
But
talk-
that
Oh, well,
Redline CD was in my van. You wondering how I knew the words? And it's because that Redline CD is killer, and Garrison sings the hell out of those tunes. So you know, and that money still comes to the band. It comes to the band account. It helps us, you know, get our tour in Germany fund. Because that's we gotta go.
That's
get
right.
there.
Please support the bands. Every little
Yes.
bit helps, whether you buy a CD, whether you buy a t-shirt. Buy the album once, never listen to it again, and listen to the rest of it on your streaming platform. But every time you buy that one copy, you help them out. Really, people, please do that.
Buy
Yes,
everything.
we appreciate it. And it either gets shipped from Lisa's warehouse or my warehouse. And I'm always super generous. I always throw all kinds of crap in there. So
Yeah, throw
You always get
stickers
more than
in,
what you pay
sign
for.
it, whatever. Seal it with a kiss.
sometimes you get heavy metal playing cards. Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
like Sweetwater, I'll throw a piece of candy in there or something. Just whatever.
You know, really, Sweetwater's got to stop with that because by the time the candy gets to me, it's I can't eat it. So
Very cool. Again, thank you guys for coming on the show, and thank you to everybody who joined in the chat. Please join in the chats every weekend. We're usually here live at 8:00 on YouTube. And
Subscribe and hit the little bell
hit
icon.
subscribe. That's right. We are up to how many? 839 subscribers. So we're almost at 1,000. And Lou, what are we going to do for the 1,000th subscriber?
okay, for the 1,000th subscriber, and I'm happy to say that the gentleman who also played bass, Mr. George Dimitri, and the producer, Alex Rapetti, will be in town this week. So I'm going to get them all to sign this copy. So our cover of Def Leppard's On Through the Night made it onto this tribute album,
Cool.
which also includes the band Roxy Blue. And again, I have to say it because it's hilarious. Jim Crean, who was at one point supposed to sing with Vinnie Vincent, who is singing Def Leppard karaoke on this. Yes, I think he took the master track and recorded his voice over it. And he's on 2 songs on this. This is a Def Leppard tribute album called Let's Get Rock, a tribute to Def Leppard. We are track number 12. Incorrectly labeled as Rat Salad on the back, but on the inside it does say Rat Salad Review, and that's cool. And John Witten from Shockwire joins us on vocals and rhythm guitar. The 1,000th subscriber gets this autographed copy of the tribute album signed by the 4 of us. Yeah, we couldn't get John because he lives in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, but I definitely have to mail him a copy. So yes, please subscribe, like.
Do it.
Who knows the name of the ballad off the Roxy Blue album, that first album?
I don't remember,
Oh,
but I
Google
do
it.
remember he played Epiphone guitars and was like the poster boy for Epiphone at one point.
Times are changing. Actually, I'm not a butt rock guy. That album is really good. It's got Rob the Cradle on it, and there's some ripping guitar on there.
Is that
I like this
considered-
encyclopedia of heavy metal that, like, I know the most useless information, but man, if I was to go up against Eddie Trunk, I would smoke that dude. Every time he had stuff in the trunk, I would smoke that guy.
You probably have enough to feed the entire country of Guam. Anyways, who said that?
Hey,
Who-
we're not shooting. We're not going after Guam.
Okay, but no, I got to admit though, their cover of "Let It Go" is really good on this. I really have to
cool.
put
I'll have
Roxy.
to check
Roxy
that
Oh,
out.
that's a good song too.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, there's a couple of like later day covers on this, but it's predominantly High and Dry and
Yeah.
Pyromania. So, and High and Dry is my favorite Def Leppard album. So, hey, I'm
Hey,
not gonna
Wayne,
complain.
You know we ain't never gonna leave, right, Wayne?
No, that's okay. You can stay as long as you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. So anyway, has anybody been watching the new Game of Thrones?
No.
You mean the book Fire and Blood? Yes, I don't know anything about this whatsoever. I haven't read all of George R. Martin's Game of Thrones books.
The soap opera with dragons in it.
I was trying to watch the Dahmer show, but my wife got a little spooked by that, so I had to turn
My
it
wife's
off.
already watched the whole darn thing. She was all about it because that's Evan Peters in it.
No, it's just crazy. My wife would rather watch like Discovery, investigates. Like she'll watch that, but she won't watch like dramatizations of serial killers because it's too much for her. I'm like, really? I'd rather watch the horror shows than the Discovery investigation stuff. I like the gore.
Murder porn, okay?
The stuff my mother-in-law watches, she watches all these crime shows like, the Law and Order and NCIS and Criminal Minds. And you walk in a room and I'll be like, what you watching, Joan? And she's like, well, they cut this kid's arm off and they're collecting body parts from all these people. He's going to make like a Frankenstein.
So let me ask you, does your mother-in-law think she's a detective now because she watches these shows?
No, I don't know. I don't know where she gets this from, but I'll walk in, I'll just be like, hey, Joe, it's time for lunch. And there'll be some chick on the screen with like a gag in her mouth going, blood everywhere.
What Criminal Minds show are you watching, Lee? What is she watching there? Are you sure that's called Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Or, the guy laid out on the table and, doing an autopsy. Like, okay. And next, The Love Boat. Then we'll watch The Love Boat. And when we watch The Love Boat, we play a game called Are They Still Alive?
Oh my God. How many times have they tried to bring The Love Boat back?
Find out, is Abe Pagoda still alive?
Oh, if she walks out of the room with a trench coat and a cigar in her hand, there's going to be a problem.
All right, I'll shut up. Speaking of dinner, I got to go make Joan some dinner.
All right, go make the dinner. And you guys go to ratsaladreview.com, musicislife.com, musicisLifepodcast.com. Sorry.
Just go to my link tree. Go to my link tree. My website's down.
All right. And what, James?
I have a show too.
All right. Good night, everybody. See you later.
Oh, come on, Wayne.
It's been great. And you know what? It was great because so last week, co-host Caleb, because he had no dog in the fight between Florida and Tennessee in the football game. He got to watch. He watched as a Tennessee fan, and he calls me, and we're going to be discussing what he said. He literally called me about 5 minutes left in the game. Goes, "How do you do this every week?" And I go, "Welcome to being a Tennessee fan, Caleb." So you're going to hear that all. You're going to hear all that, and also the Week 5 review and picks before the games start at 9:30 on Facebook.
Very cool. Everybody done now?
I'm done.
All right.
Watch my interview with Brian Tatler from Diamond Head. That was good.
Oh, yes, that was a very good interview.
Shit,
So
I
go
haven't
check
seen
that out.
that.
Yep, it was released yesterday.
Yes, he's such a gentleman and just such a nice guy. And I only had a half hour of his time, but I had like 15 questions. He answered like 13 of them. Like it was just like the conversation was just flowed so naturally. He was such a cool guy. And I actually just ordered my copy of the Lighting to the Nations reissue. That should be coming Friday, so that'll be cool.
That's strange.
Awesome.
What's strange?
You ordered that before you ordered the new Splintered Throne album.
I just had to. Fuck you, Wayne. I will order my copy right now.
God.
I was gonna order my Splintered Throne T-shirt and CD after we got off the air.
You're gonna do that, huh?
I'm going to.
I'll be sitting here waiting for your email.
Okay, my email is Wayne is an asshole.
You gotta baby face your way out of this one.
Actually, Lou, let's just do it right now. Go ahead. We'll sit here and wait.
All right.
Oh, for God's sake.
And Jason, keep your email open. Let's see if he does this.
Wayne, I'm gonna kill you one
Are
of
you
these days just for
serious?
spite.
Wow.
Bandcamp.com. No,
No, it's Splintered Throne
brand.
at
Yeah,
Bandcamp.
get it right, Wayne.
Bandcamp.com.
This is hilarious.
Wayne, what's your credit card number?
Here. hold on.
Do we have another order?
I'm on it.
Oh wait.
He's getting
Okay.
there.
Or you can just download the
I must
Bandcamp
mock
app
us.
and get it there, also in digital
I
form.
sent to another German.
Everybody
today.
is waiting in the chat here, very anxious, waiting to see what happens here.
On
We
pins
did,
and
we did just
needles.
sell something to somebody in Germany.
Yep, Carsten Schmitz. Hi, Carsten Schmitz. Thank you for ordering our CD.
This is very exciting.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you recommend I get the album t-shirt or the Lady Throne t-shirt? Because I think I actually like the Lady Throne t-shirt a little
The
better.
Lady Throne is awesome. We always sell out of that one. Like,
And there's not
All
that
right.
many of them. Yeah.
Oh, 6 remaining. Oh, yes, I want one.
Actually, Lou, get both. Okay, to make it up for them.
I
Because you
want you to
didn't-
buy one of everything and pay $27 for each item. And if you don't, you will be haunted by J-Mo's ghost.
that's right.
How about that?
Well, apparently it travels through the internet waves there.
Yeah,
so.
just put the
Apparently
ghost.
so.
Put the ghost in Lou's package.
And for the record, you're not putting me on the spot because I was going to do this anyways. I just
Yeah,
think it's
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous that we're
Yeah.
doing this live on YouTube, you
Why
fucking
not?
moron.
Everybody's
Especially
excited.
Joan is
Listen,
so hungry.
There's still 7 people here watching, so they're interested.
I could tell some jokes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Wayne Noon is a podcaster. There's my
Oh,
Ooh, that I can't top
Hey,
that.
yo.
That's like a good joke.
All right, let's hear a joke, dude.
Hey, did you hear about the guy that drank the invisible ink?
No.
Hey, he's waiting at the hospital, waiting to be seen.
Oh my god.
I didn't say they were good jokes. I just said they're jokes.
Uh,
All right, I
Hey.
could top that with a bad one too. So I should have told this to Brian Tyler, but I didn't. But I heard this when I was in Hawaii for my honeymoon. The guy asked me, "Hey, do you know why they call the mountain Diamond Head?" I said, "No. Why do they call the mountain Diamond Head?" Because there used to be a guy who sold cabbage up there, and he'd go, "Dime ahead, dime ahead."
Be careful with that one. That one's an antique.
Stop. No. Hey, did you hear about the cannibal who threw up his arms?
No, what about the cannibal who threw up his arms?
Did you hear about the cannibal who passed his brother in the forest?
Wow.
I snorted. What is going on over there, Lou? It doesn't take that long
I
to
know.
just.
It's
I'm gonna start telling
PayPal.
pirate
I
jokes.
thought we lost 2 watchers.
Your
Yeah,
fault.
I was one of them, stupid.
They're leaving.
Okay, there you go.
All right, I'm waiting.
Really? Lisa, you better seal that freaking CD with a kiss. That's all I'm gonna
One
say.
order.
Who's it from?
Blue man.
All right. Good job, Lou man.
And this is for Wayne
job,
Noon.
Lou Mavs.
Double deuce.
There you go. Did you get it already? You got it before I did. I get the
I see it.
notification from Bandcamp. So
Yeah. Well, I don't get a notification. I just get it on the Bandcamp. I'm
Oh, there
logged
you
into
go.
Bandcamp.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
there it is.
are.
Bada boom.
A live Splintered Throne
There you
order.
go.
Now there are 2 orders.
James just got one too.
Okay, so I'm gonna plug the fact that.
thirdly?
All right, so now I'm gonna plug our stuff, Wayne. Severed Angels' original single, "A Fate Worse Than Death," will be released October 7th on all streaming platforms. So yeah, don't forget, that's a killer song. Hope you
Yeah,
know.
it'll be a really cool song. Yep. Can't wait for everybody to hear that song. And ratsoundreview.com. Hit subscribe, like I said before. Splinterthrone.bandcamp.com. And I'm pointing the wrong way. Camera's here. So go do all that stuff. Go buy the Splintered Throne CD
Do it.
right there. Go buy it.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week. Back with Iron Maiden versus Judas Priest.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Well,
Goodbye.
actually, we are going to
Bye.
be doing October Ween as well for Rat Style Review, aren't we?
Poor Wayne.
What?
Are we
Yeah,
going to be doing our-
are we gonna be doing October movies instead also?
Yes. At some point.
Oh, when? November?
Yes.
dick.
Goodbye.
Demoni.
Bye.